Do you imagine the situation when you wake up every morning stressed, you need to sit in traffic, go to work, and you come home at night and you feel exhausted. And everything that you can do is just fall in your bed, and the next day that your alarm rings, it starts over and over again. Who of you has experienced a situation where the job just didn't lead to anything? It happens. It happens. I was in the same situation 6 months ago. I didn't have time to prepare my Toastmasters speech. I didn't have time to do sports. I was just working, and working even more on the weekends because I didn't have the time during the week to do some other stuff. So what did I do? At first, I tried to renegotiate my working conditions with my employer. Say, hey, I came from Germany to Belgium and I wanted to work in Brussels, and now you're sending me all over the country, to Antwerp, to Ghent, to Liège, sometimes even to Luxembourg. And I'm not a driver, by the way. And I spent more hours in the car driving to projects than actually working on projects. But my manager didn't see a problem. I wanted to negotiate my conditions, but I asked myself, am I negotiating or am I just settling and accepting the conditions they offer? I set a deadline. That deadline came, and I put my LinkedIn profile on open to work. The same week, I had dozens of messages in my inbox. I filtered them, and they resulted in 4 interviews on the first week. That was quite a privileged situation. But it also meant that I would have to prepare for negotiations. Negotiate the contract conditions, the salary, the vacation days. To start a negotiation, you have to know what you're worth, to have an idea what you negotiate about, right? So I did some research. I went on Glassdoor. I read the Michael Page salary report for Belgium, and I found myself. So my field of expertise, my years of seniority, and the salary benchmark for this position. So I already had a number in mind with which I could start the negotiations with the employees who were interested in me. So first step, know your worth. Secondly, prior to entering negotiations, you need to set your non-negotiables. What's a non-negotiable for you regarding work? Yelda, what's a non-negotiable for you?
Maybe the borders, your own borders cannot be trusted.
A good onboarding. Indeed, that's the first impression. Jean-Charles, what's a non-negotiable for you?
Balance between work and private life.
That's indeed very important. That's crucial, a balance between work and life, because work isn't all your life. I also set my non-negotiables. I wanted a balance between work and private life. I didn't want to just function like a machine, working, driving, and sleeping. So I set a list of non-negotiables. I wanted remote work, because we live in the 21st century and we can work remotely from almost any point of the world. I wanted growth opportunities, not just 100% on projects working, but also some time for myself to develop new skills. And of course, the financial aspect must be in place. So, at first, I did some research to know my worth. Secondly, I set my non-negotiables. And thirdly, when entering a negotiation, you need to remember that you're negotiating. You don't want to settle for less. You have you know your worth, you have your non-negotiables. So if those conditions are not met, remember that you have the freedom to walk away. You don't need to settle for less. You don't need to sell yourself below your worth. That's the three things to keep in mind when entering a negotiation. Know your worth, know your non-negotiables, and feel free to walk away if your conditions are not met. So dear Toastmasters and dear guest, next time you enter a negotiation, you want to go for a higher paying job, or just a job that allows you more free time. Remember those 3 steps and don't settle for less, because you deserve the best.